Okay, welcome to Wall Street X. My name is Hugh. I have a master's degree in finance, and a reminder that most active funds do not beat the S&P 500 long term, and to always do your own research. But today, Citigroup just raised its price targets on these three stocks, and those three stocks are AGIO, ARVN, and AVGO. And starting us off with Broadcom, AVGO, analysts at Citigroup have maintained their buy rating, but they've increased their price target to 45% higher, which is $475 was what they expected to be next year. A 45% increase is huge, especially for something like Broadcom. Broadcom's seen a lot of action over this past year, and it has a pretty high valuation at 67, but with 4 recent earnings beats and EPS growth estimates as high as 79% over the next 12 months, I think it's safe to say that its current valuation is pretty justifiable at these levels. And to top it off, the semiconductor industry as a whole is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of like 8 to 13%, which is really good, out to 2030 as well. So we have some pretty good, stable growth out for a while, and that's going to make Broadcom a serious growth stock contender. We have put AVGO as a medium risk, high reward stock, and we maintain a strong buy on Broadcom right now. And the next stock we have is Arvinas, ARVN. Citigroup has raised the price target on this one to $18, which now represents a potential upside of 35% over the next year. ARVN has missed their last earnings call, and it's seen plenty of downside earnings revisions lately. However, Citigroup has taken it the opposite direction and raised their price targets on this one, which is interesting to see. And I think it's because analysts are forecasting some decent revenue growth over the next couple of years. So that's perhaps why they've started to raise their targets, but they aren't expected to become profitable until at least 2030, which is a interesting sign. However, by their nature, pharmaceutical stocks are known to be incredibly risky and volatile with high betas, and this one is absolutely no exception. So take that risk into account if you're going to consider adding this to your portfolio. But until then, we've put ARVN as a high-risk, low-return stock, and we have rated this one a strong sell at a negative 70% one-year forecast, quite a bit different from Citigroup's, but there's two opposing opinions, and yeah, that's pretty much the story with this one. Nobody really knows. Volatile, high beta, pretty risky. Do your own research. Agios Pharmaceuticals, AGIO, pretty much the same story with this one. Maintaining their buy rating, Citigroup has raised their price target to $47, which is a huge 74% potential upside for this, is what they're saying. However, like ARVN, they have decent revenue forecasts, but it's their EPS. They're not considered to be profitable, and they don't think they're going to be profitable out for quite some time. Down 24% over the past 6 months. It looks like a pretty good bargain, and it's better to buy it now than 6 months ago for sure. They've been beating recent earnings calls, so that's pretty bullish. However, I think it's down because of those regulatory threats that it's seeing right now. Super, super high risk, even more so than ARVN because of those regulatory hurdles it's seeing right now. But despite that, the average analyst rating is a strong buy with a plus 44% one-year forecast for this. And we have put this one as a high risk but medium reward stock, and we maintain a strong buy with a 110% one-year forecast. But the algorithm's a little different on this one. You know, taking into qualitative analysis on this, you know, you almost have to rate it a hold just because of the risk factor involved. You know, we don't really go for pharmaceutical companies just because the betas are so high and the risk is so intense. But there is money to be made, and you know, if you think that their products are good, you think that it's going to go through, they're going to beat the regulatory hurdles, this one could be good. But again, you have to factor in that risk into your portfolio matrix. But those are the three stocks that Citigroup has raised their price targets on: AVGO, ARVN, and AGIO. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next video.